So this is the brand new Lenovo Legion Pro 7i, and it does cost a whopping $3,500, but I think out of all the 16-inch gaming laptops I've tested so far, this one's almost at the top. Now it does come with an Intel Core Ultra 9 275HX CPU, an RTX 5080 GPU, and a jaw-dropping 16-inch OLED display with a premium build that actually feels premium. Now, unlike many premium laptops that talk a big game but feel like glorified plastic toys, the Legion Pro 7i delivers on its promises. The entire body is crafted from CNC aluminum that feels substantial and refined, something you'll appreciate every time you open it. The black finish looks stunning for approximately 17 seconds before it transforms into a forensic investigator's dream canvas of fingerprints. Now, it doesn't seem to use the coating Razer uses, so just keep that in mind. Now, speaking of the design, it's relatively clean and sleek until you activate what I like to call gamer mode. When the Legion lettering lights up with RGB, the light bar at the bottom and back of the device also illuminates, creating that unmistakable gamer aesthetic. Now, you can easily turn this all off when you're trying to pretend you're doing important work at the coffee shop. Now, it just weighs under 6 pounds, about 2.57 kilograms. It's not exactly feather light, and with a beefy 400-watt power brick, your legs will be jacked by the end of the semester. But there is one questionable design choice. Lenovo has moved the ports from the back to the sides. As someone who uses a laptop in desktop mode frequently, this is like putting the cup holders on the roof of your car. But the port selection is still comprehensive. So for example, on the left-hand side, you have your proprietary power connector, you have an HDMI 2.1 port, you have two Thunderbolt 4 ports, unfortunately they're not Thunderbolt 5, and a USB-A port. On the right, you have a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet jack, a switch to disable the webcam, two USB-A ports, and of course, your combo audio jack. The 400-watt charging brick deserves another mention. It's the largest I've seen paired with a laptop RTX 5080 so far. Now, there is an upside. It can charge your laptop to 70% in just 30 minutes, which is great if you're in a hurry, but bad if you like backpack space. Now, once you open it, the black deck with per-key RGB lighting just pops beautifully. It reminds me of Razer's aesthetic, but with Lenovo's own flavor. The keyboard deck uses stamped aluminum, which isn't quite as premium as the rest of the body, but still maintains the quality feel. For you Excel warriors out there, there's a number pad on the right-hand side, so you can crunch numbers when you're not crunching enemies. Typing on this keyboard is a genuine pleasure. Lenovo's U-shaped keys offer satisfying travel and clickiness that make both gaming and productivity absolutely awesome. These keys will feel fantastic when you explain to your boss that you need this gaming laptop for work purposes. The touchpad is adequately sized, not the largest in the laptop universe, but perfectly functional for a gaming laptop. It uses mechanical clicking rather than haptic feedback, which is fine. Most gamers will be holding their external gaming mouse tighter than your last paycheck. The power button doubles as a mood ring of sorts, changing colors based on your power profile. Silent is blue, balanced is white, and performance is red. Just note the performance option won't even show itself until it's connected to the wall. And then there are the stickers. Oh, the stickers. It looks like Lenovo invited a toddler to the factory for Bring Your Child to Work Day and handed them a sheet of company stickers. They're crooked, they're chaotic, and completely detract from the otherwise premium aesthetic. Pro tip, warm them up with a hairdryer and peel them off immediately, unless you enjoy that I just bought this laptop at Best Buy look. The 16-inch OLED display is nothing short of spectacular. It's bright, it's color accurate, and makes both productivity work and gaming look absolutely stunning. The colors pop, the blacks are deep enough to get lost in, and the overall visual experience is superb. Just note that it is a glossy panel, so it will sometimes reflect a lot of light. Now, for those of you out there worried about OLED burn-in, just relax, okay? By the time you see any burn-in on this panel, you'll probably have moved on to a laptop with a holographic display or whatever you're using in 2040. And for the PWM flicker sensitive folks out there, good news, even at lower brightness levels, aggressive flickering wasn't noticeable during my testing. Okay, so this is what the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i webcam looks like. It's obviously 1080p. You guys let me know how it looks and how do the microphones sound. I'm using nothing but natural light. All right, let's talk about what this laptop was actually built for. Performance. And the Core Ultra 9 275HX CPU may not have the absolute fastest single core clock speeds compared to its peers, but it's certainly in the respectable range. The MacBook Pro 16 M4 Max still holds a 27% advantage in single-core performance, which helps with app loading and web applications. In the speedometer test, the Legion Pro scored impressively well, making it one of the faster Windows laptops available for modern web applications. Multi-core performance is where this machine really shines, coming in third just below Gigabyte's 16-inch version of this laptop. In the Mozilla Firefox compile test, the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i came in second to last, almost tying with the ROG Strix Scar 16. Now in fairness, Mozilla Firefox does compile faster on Macs given their Unix environment. Photoshop performance is where this laptop truly excels. It's the fastest RTX 5080 laptop I've tested so far, scoring 9,477. In Premiere Pro, it comes in third place compared to other 5080 laptops I've tested, but the differences are negligible. 3D artists and Blender users, you'll love this because this is the fastest 5080 laptop I've tested for your needs. Now in terms of overall GPU performance, the Legion Pro 7i scored the fastest score I've seen on a laptop so far. TimeSpy is somewhat CPU bound, which explains why the Ryzen CPU doesn't perform as well, but the GPU performance is quite impressive. The GPU maintains its full 175 watt power rating when fully saturated. Now gaming performance, numbers do not lie, and in Shadow the Tomb Raider, which is somewhat CPU bound at QHD+, it scored higher than the MSI Titan at 188 frames per second. The same impressive performance was evident in my Dirt 5 test, scoring 160 FPS and beating the MSI Titan 18 by 2.5%. Now in more GPU-bound games at QHD+, it reverted to typical 5080 performance, but still scored the highest among all 5080 laptops I've tested. In Cyberpunk 2077, it delivered 92 FPS compared to 86 on the Asus ROG Strix 16. In Black Myth Wukong, it tied with the Strix Scar 16 at 43 frames per second, but beat the Gigabyte Aura 16 by 2 frames. F124 was the only game where it lost to other 5080 laptops I've tested, but only by about 4 to 6 FPS. The average core clock speeds are solid, performing exactly as they should. CPU temperatures under full load are a bit toasty, not concerning enough to call the fire department, but high enough to raise an eyebrow. For games supporting NVIDIA's frame generation technology, performance is spectacular. Marvel Rivals easily exceeds 100 FPS at QHD+ with the highest settings, and turning on multi-frame generation can practically double your frame rate using 3x mode. Just be aware that this introduces some latency, which is fine for casual gaming, but competitive players might want to keep it disabled. Black Myth Wukong with its multi-frame generation update runs beautifully at about 100 FPS with just DLSS enabled. Add multi-frame generation at 3x, and you'll see a substantial performance boost. Now there is a temperature issue here. As you can see in some of these games I tested, it gets really hot, like sometimes hitting 94 or even 100 degrees Celsius. Lenovo compensates by keeping the fan noise surprisingly low in performance mode, only 53 decibels, which is remarkably quiet for a gaming laptop, but it's still a bit too hot for me. Now there is some good news. Despite these high CPU temperatures, I never experienced drop frames or game lag. Now if you're really concerned about the longevity of your expensive investment, use the custom mode and crank those fans to 100%. Because when you do this, cooling becomes exceptional, with CPU temps hovering around a much more reasonable 75 to 80 degrees. Also, Legion Space is generally one of the nicest gaming software suites I've tested. It's clean, it's simple, and everything you need is on one page, including RGB customization, while other manufacturers force you to navigate through labyrinth menus. I'm looking at you, ARM Recreate, MSI Center, and HP Omen. Legion Space keeps everything centralized. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still bloatware trying to sell you games, but the main performance page has been wonderfully simplified. The Lenovo Legion Pro 7i also features 4 speakers, 2 upward-facing ones on the back, similar to Lenovo's Yoga lineup, and 2 on the bottom of the laptop. Now getting inside is really easy, and I love the way this thing looks. I've already unscrewed this because you need to take this off if you want to upgrade the RAM or the SSDs. You do have a third fan, which I love to see, which helps keep the lower components cool. If you take this off, just be careful. There's a cable connecting to the fan to the motherboard. You don't want to rip that. But once you slide it down, you can see this. You have 2 RAM slots, upgradable to 96, 2 SSD slots, so you can put bigger storage drives in here if you really want to, but these do have good read and write speeds. And of course, your swappable Wi-Fi card. Vapor chamber cooler at the top to help keep the CPU and GPU as cool as possible. As for battery life, if you're just doing general productivity using nothing but the integrated GPU, you're gonna get over 6 hours of use before needing to charge. If you are gaming using NVIDIA's battery boost, you'll get about an hour and 15 minutes. And if you're using dedicated GPU mode for productivity, you're gonna get 2 hours and 50 minutes. So here's the bottom line. The Lenovo Legion Pro 7i isn't perfect. It heats up like a summer barbecue on performance mode and collects fingerprints like they're Pokemon. But it's built beautifully, delivers exceptional RTX 5080 performance, runs super cool if you don't mind maxing out the fan noise, and offers one of the best OLED gaming experiences around. But I think at the end of the day, it will come down to deals compared to other 16-inch gaming laptops on the market, because the differences between all of them really come down to aesthetics, since performance and cooling is fairly similar across the board. Now, if you're interested in picking one up, I'll place a link in the description down below. If you like the video, feel free to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.